and nice to meet you again. And thanks, Arjois, for inviting me to your lovely group meetings. Yes, I'll start with the global update. So you see from my first page, Atomy is a must. Big capital letters. Atomy is a must. And Atomy is not an option. It is a must. So it's not coming from me directly. This is one of the popular lecture done by CEO Hangi Park. And many of the leaders, they said Atomy is a must to us and it's not an option. Before going with this specific topic, I just want to go over with that stat story. It has not yet been posted in Atomy official information. If you are following and if you are diligent enough to watch all the Imperial Masters lectures and all those stories, you probably familiarize his face. He's an Imperial Master number 9. And I cannot say I personally know him, but there's so many leaders, but I get to really spend a lot of time with them. Every time he comes to Canada, probably this was like 2018, he was here as a crown master at the time, and I was able to go to 3 different cities with them because at the time he needed a translator, so I was helping him with the English translation. So I have a beautiful memory with them. But just all of a sudden, I guess say like probably 5 days ago, we heard sad news that he passed away. He didn't pass away just all of a sudden. We heard that he had a health issue. Some people say that it's a lung cancer, so it's nothing related to cancer. He has a pulmonary embolism, and it's coming from it. He has a family history of that. His brother also passed away with that, and only option he has with the lung transplant. But what's amazing about his story is when he was here this time, he could talk without breathing. He has so much information to share. He wants to share so much love to people, and he really wants to make people fall in love with Atomy and get serious with Atomy. So he wanted to share a lot of information. So he could not even breathe while he was talking. But I could see the huge difference when he was here this time as an Imperial Master. Yes, appearance changes. His face was really swollen, and he needs to pause a lot during his lectures because he has a hard time breathing. But can't you feel that love already? For him coming all the way to Canada, all the way to USA, because before coming to Canada, he traveled to USA. He doesn't have his direct partners. But he was willing to travel that 13 hours of flight to share the love of Atomy. That's something we can really keep in our heart as long as we are doing it at Atomy. And probably, I'm sure, many people who will go to Imperial Master podium in the future, including myself, will always remember his name. Only reason I'm just going to mention about his case, people love to create rumors. So I'm starting to hear some negative people already creating a rumor that, he had a lung cancer. But hemohim, isn't it hemohim supposed to help him to prolong his life with the cancer? But like I mentioned, he didn't have a cancer. It cannot be really even healed with the hemohim. As I mentioned, it's a generic. There has been a family history with it, and even himself, he knew it. And because of that, you might encounter some negativity towards, hemohim information. So now I'm sharing you the correct information. It's nothing to do with hemohim, nothing to do with hemohim issue. It's just like there has been a family history with it. And hemohim cannot really cure we know it. Hemohim cannot cure any of the physical illnesses people having. But what can it do? It can improve the condition. Even probably he was able to travel that many hours to many different cities because of the hemohim. Probably he was like lying in bed that he could not really move around or even flying to many different cities. If you double check before he just passed away, he was here month of March. We just took this beautiful picture. He was there whole day with us. He attended a Success Academy. He was there in Australia, Singapore, Malaysia, USA, imagine. So that's the beauty of Atomy, and that's something he really wanted to share. And every lecture, he always empathized. company motto. I mean, we always recite company motto before and ends of our company event. But he said, not just recite company motto, you have to truly understand the definition behind of all those meanings. But one thing that he really emphasized is like a serve in humility. You have to be the leader where you can serve all your partners with humility. Don't be a leader that you want to be stand up, that you want to be recognized all the time. Be a leader where you can just, even your name is never mentioned. You will be there to support your partners to achieve the success together. You as a leader will be shine when many of your partners become auto sales master, auto diamond master, the share modes master, at the end, imperial master. So we all gonna keep that in our heart, and we're gonna remember him on our prayers. And if you have any question, probably you can message me later on. I'm hoping you don't encounter any negativity that I faced because of this all of sudden news. But it's better to know this information. So even if you see any negative news going around or any shocking message from your members or who just start taking him, you'll be able to reply them with a positive feedback. Okay, so as my first introductory slide have shown, Atomy is a must, not an option. When we mentioned that, even several years ago, even when I started it, not many people understood, can relate themselves. Must? Really? There are so many options available. Why is it must? But that one phrase, Atomy is a must, more people, let's say if more than 50%, I can say more than 65% didn't agree when I say Atomy is a must. But what I noticed it, more people towards agreeing Atomy is a must. But we must understand what made that change to think Atomy is a must in their lives, Atomy is a must for their future. We are living in a very different part of the world. So some of the numbers that I'm showing, it's based on Canadian currency. So probably you can quickly think in the Philippine pesos, or how much it's going to be euro, or how much it's going to be in pounds. Before Atomy, even myself, before Atomy, I had a full-time job, and I'm sure many of you joining this room, you are doing Atomy right now, except AeriJeong, most people are working full-time and doing Atomy as a part-time. But there must be a reason that you're willing to sacrifice your personal times to invest your time in an Atomy. And why you're thinking of quitting your job, doing Atomy for full-time. Our life, we cannot live without any of the plans. See, when I talk to people who loves planning, they even have a plan E or F. How much plans do you have? Or you don't have any plans? Some people, when I talk to, don't talk about plans. I'm already enough making plans for my work, so I'm not going to make a plans for life. That's dangerous. Why would you spending all your hours making plans for the business, for the company, or where you work? Why you neglect to make a plans for your own life, your precious life? So think about, what's your backup plan? When I mentioned this backup plan before pandemic, so when we share Atomy, people might say no right now. People, when I share Atomy 5 years ago, 6 years ago, oh no, it's okay. I can live without Atomy. My life is perfect without Atomy. They didn't really need a backup plan. But after what we have experienced, pandemic or recession, now this keyword backup really struck to their mind. I remember, Eric, a couple of years ago, you mentioned about the backup plan. I should have listened to you that at the time. I didn't know that I could really enjoy my life where I enjoyed several years ago. I'll be able to continue that lifestyle. Situation is changing. So even people saying to you no right now, don't take it as no, as negative. There will always be a chance for you to share Atomy in the near future. And question to all of you, what is your retirement plan? I haven't double checked the information. Is it Euro? Like Europe also have a certain age where you can retire. Can you put on the chat what's the age that you can the government set to retire?
In Belgium, it's 65, 67, and I believe in France it's also 67, and Netherlands
67.
is
Okay.
67, right?
And what is your plan? What is your plan when another pandemic happens? So when I ask this question, this is a wake-up call to many of the people who used to say no to Atomy. Okay, let's go. Not even talking about pandemic. This is what I used to talk about during the seminar since 2017, 2018. Beginning of Atomy compensation plan, we need to do a reality check. We need to talk about what will happen in the future. That's why we need to do Atomy. This was our way of sharing Atomy vision. But now it's not the future. Actually, it's going to happen more in the future, but it's already start happening. If you're really onto, update news, global news, in Canada, there are many restaurants, they have replaced waitresses to this automated robot to serve the food, mostly buffet. Buffet, instead of several ladies holding like many dishes, they have replaced with this robot. Depends on, I ask how much will this robot will be, depend on the functions. Just a welcoming robot, it's not that expensive, but those robots where they need to go to certain tables to deliver the dishes, it can cost from it's not that expensive. 5,000, right? 5,000, around $1,000 to 5,000. Not that expensive. Think about hiring an employee. You have to think about their hourly wage, and you have to also think about their the benefits. And sometimes when they call in sick, this and that, so many things happens when you hire an employee. But it would be so easier as an employer to replace any of the job that employees can do as an AI. So I even ask, I don't know what types of job that you are in, but double check whether you're on the next on the line that your job will be replaced by AI. I even shared during one day seminar just happened in April. I need to share a 5-minute welcoming speech, and I mentioned whenever I look at this chart, I get shivery hands because I mentioned when I was talking about Atomy journey. I work at the bank before. I had a different jobs, but bank is where I spend most of the years. I was the 8 years, but if I still stay there without doing it at Atomy, my job is. I cannot secure that I could be work there until I retire, because my first plan was to stay there till 55 until I retire. But even the financial planner, it can be replaced by AI with automated system. For me, I need to help with the customers with the mortgages, mutual funds, all the loanings. But nowadays, some automated system for you inputting all your personal informations, the database will come out. How much mortgage you'll be getting, whether you'll be approved or not. So basically, bank don't really need me unless I do have a special talent. So this is a one factor that many of the people's job on the risk. And I asked him, okay, I don't really need me. I'm happy right now. Okay, I'm really sorry to do this, but please double check. I sometimes have one of that list. I think my list have like 1 to 30, the job which will be disappeared in the future. Please double check. I'm not trying to scare you, but I'm just asking you to plan for your future. You have a loved ones. If you're single, yes, I wouldn't even talk about. You have a family to look after. You have to put the food on the table. How will you survive if your job category is on the top of the list? And then, of course, there is a reason I also do that. For them doing a reality check, they understand how important Atomy opportunity and how lucky they are to be handed with Atomy opportunity. Yes, before it was fun to see. Wow, with a sign of development of the technology, this is happening. But now it's scaring the workforce. Okay, let's do some calculations here. Even people, I'm okay now. I'll be okay later on. How's the pension plan in Europe? I know some of the countries in Europe, it's great countries to live because you have a great pension system. Same here in Canada. Compared to USA, why Atomy USA is doing better than Canada? You want to know why? Canada has a better health system. We don't really basically for the healthcare. USA, they don't have a healthcare. That's why they really need to go crazy to make an extra income from Atomy. Canadians, they're really relying on pension plan later on by the government. But some of the scary news we face these days, the government doesn't even know how much money they have for our retirement. By the time we retire, I think most of us are here like over 35. So by the time we retire, government cannot guarantee they will have the secured amount of pension that we could receive. So we cannot really depend on the government either. Then we have to even think about how much do we really need to have for us to have a comfortable retirement life. Even when you retire, your responsibility doesn't stop. So me as a mother of two girls, even though I retire, my responsibility as a mom doesn't stop. I still need to pay for their education. I still need to support their, weddings, any of the big life events. I cannot say, oh, I'm retired, my income stops, so I cannot support you anymore. I cannot do that. My responsibility is still there, and for my aging parents too. So basically, how much do we need? To me, when I first got this number, it was eye-opening for me. I have to change some number from the number that I got several years ago. When I saw this number, it was $10 per meal. The total I got is only based on a couple, not including your children or your senior parents. It's not including just a couple, you and your spouse. And when I got this information, it was only $5 per meal. Because it was possible before pandemic, before inflation. Yes, $5 meal was pretty okay. Even when I go to Korean restaurant here, $6 something, I could have, I'm not sure whether you've been to Korean restaurant. What's a popular, most inexpensive dish? Pork bonsu. It's like a $6. $6, you can have a great meal. But no, it's more than $10 these days. So for you and your spouse, if you both retire at 55, and just for survive, because we need to eat, just for you to survive, $10 per meal for couple, 3 times a day for a whole year. And now, that's another scary news too. With the life longevity, people living more than 100 years. So let's say if you're 35 right now, how many more years to survive? 35, 65 more years. Even if you're 50 more years to survive. Let's look at this number. Close to $1 million. $876,000. That's how much you need for you to survive. But let's say if you are about to retire at age 55 and you are going to live another 35 years, but this is based on how much you like to spend per month. Even after you retire, you still gonna shopping? Of course, retire. What does that mean? No more working. You have a time on your hands. So you want to travel sometimes. You want to do all the things that you weren't able to do when you're working full time. So minimum 5. Okay, let's say 5. $4,000 to $6,000, but 6,000 is most average. The people willing to spend for their retirement in monthly basis. So let's say $60,000 for a couple. But in this $60,000 for you supporting, for you owning a car, everything kind of inclusive. So which means your life is based on the budget, the $6,000. $6,000 for every month for 35 years. How much money do you need? $2.5 million. You should have $2.5 million saved in your bank account for you to enjoy your retirement life. Question, put your hand up right now. Anybody have amount close to this? Or you, I'm sure many of you already have a saving plan. So if you save the amount you save right now, you get to this amount by the time you retire. Put your hands up proudly. Then for you, Atomy is really an extra option. But why is it must to me too? I work at the bank too. So every year I get to sit down with a financial planner. And for us, it's a free service. So they usually ask, What types of retirement life are you expecting? So he's asking, okay, what kind of a car you want to drive? Probably mortgage has been paid out by the time, but still maybe you want to move, or how many times you want to travel. So based on the lifestyle I want, the financial planner usually come how much money I need to spend per month. And based on that, how much money totally I need. And based on my age at the time, how much I should start saving. You know what he asked me to save 8 years ago? $2,000 a month. Save it. For me to have a secure amount of money saved. Because with the compound interest, yes, I could have, but there's always unexpected thing happening in life. Even though you're saving $2,000 every month, sometimes you need to fix a car, you need to pay some money for your parents, unknown things happen. So even though money saved, you need to end up using those money that you saved. And later on, once I gave birth to my daughters, 2,000, forget it. Even though my income grows, even 1,000 was hard. Purely saving $1,000 separately for my retirement, it's not that easy. So even though this is a fact, many people know it, many people having a hard time having these numbers. When I showed this number, some people block me and say, why are you scaring me? I'm really enjoying my life right now. Why are you scaring me? I don't even want to think about it. But that's avoiding the fact, avoiding the reality. We're aging anyways. But if we have a solution to make this retirement income, why not? Let's see. What's the most complaint do you hear these days? Do you hear any complaints? I hear a lot of complaints in Canada. Oh, inflation's killing us. I cannot really plan anything with the inflation. People's salary has not been increased. Their income pretty much the same, but with the inflation, instead of buying 3, they end up buying 1. Instead of going 2 vacations, they end up going 1 vacation. Because the mortgage, because of the interest, because of the inflation, the interest rate went up. And because of that, all the loan payment, everything went up. This is where I usually share CEO 100 Parts lecture. Doesn't matter what's happening outside, surround us. Think about, okay, let's say I'm making $5,000 from the bank where I work. So let's say I'm still working there. So 5,000. I need to work on my life, plan my life according to the $5,000. I cannot do it. If I plan to live $6,000, $7,000 life, which means I need to get a $2,000 overspending for my life. So which means I need to figure it out. How can I still enjoy with the budget, the $5,000 income I'm getting from the bank? But with this is out of my control. Things happening out of our control, it's determining our life. The things I was able to enjoy with the $5,000, I cannot do anymore. That's what CEO 100%. Don't make your life, don't make any plans according to the income you're getting right now. Instead, what do you need to do? Anybody have a complete your life scenario? See, I have a life scenario just beside me all the time. This is your big why in Atomy, and this will push you to achieve all the way to the top in Atomy. Anything that you have written down in life scenario, if you want to achieve it, you will know how much you need in monthly income. Forget about how much you're making right now, but think about how much you need to make in order for you to enjoy everything that you want to enjoy in life. Okay, this is the types of car I want to drive, and I want to give like my parents for $2,000 every month, allowance payments. I probably wanted to travel 1 or 2 times a year, and I want this amount of money need to be saved on the bank account for my children, for their education, for anything. Anything that you plan. If you come up with a $10,000, what do you need to do? Oh yes, you need to switch your job where they can give you $10,000. Okay. If the current job you are in only can give you $5,000, but life I'm dreaming, it's $10,000, of course, I need to look for new places. But the thing is it easy before you find a job where they can give you $10,000 and $20,000. Is it easy? My question, if it was that easy, Atomy wouldn't grow this far. People will not go crazy with Atomy. I've searched, seriously, before I even joined Atomy to make sure that I don't have any other options than Atomy. I really searched, is there any other opportunity that I can make $10,000 or $20,000? Yes, if I have a several company, yes, I can make 10,000, 20,000, but I don't have that ability. And if I go all the way to, corporate level, yes, I could probably make $10,000. But what's another thing? Once I retire, I'm not even making that $10,000 that I created from the place where I worked. And with the job that you have right now, even though you want to work until you die, you can, because there is a certain age you are allowed to work. And with the pandemic, what happened? Many people have experienced something they never expected. Some people got laid off, their work hour has been reduced. So many unknown things happen. Question is, can you work until you retire? When I start talking to people when they're 30s, oh, I love my job. I never thinking about retiring. You know what? I will work as long as I can. When I talk to people in 40s, what are the options? I want to fire my boss. I get stressed every day I go to work. When I talk to people in 50s, I wish I don't have to wake up every morning, go to work. So different age group, different reactions. But in common, they always look for the opportunity where they can be their own boss, where there is no retirement age. As long as you always remember this one. For several years, I had this one as my desktop picture, the wallpaper, and I had it for my phone too, to remind myself to make money while you sleep. Oh, something's missing. If you don't, okay, the first part is missing. If you don't make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. Some people don't take it seriously, but we feel it. If you are chasing after money, there are so many risks involved. You might say, risk? What risk? I mean, I'm working for somebody. I'm an employee. So as long as I perform all the necessary things, I get salary. I get bi-weekly. In Canada, we get bi-weekly salary. So I get salary. And if I excel anything that I do, I probably get a bonus at the end of the year. Oh, why risk? Yes, even working as an employee, there's a risk involved because you don't own a job. You are owned by somebody. You are owned by the company. You're owned by your employer. So depend on your employer, your life depends on it. When you think about it, it's really a big risk. Your whole family depends on the decision of the corporation, decision of the employer. Doesn't matter how well is a relationship with you and employer or you and the corporation. If business goes down, you will be the first on the line to be removed. I've seen it. Some of my friends who laughed at me when I was joining it at me, they say, why would you quit? Great job. And people who, pinpointing at me at the time, for them, really building their career in a banking and building their career for the furniture designing, I know they are creating a great income. But what happened during pandemic? Two of the people that I know, they got laid off because they are the highest income in that region. So they were the first ones to go. Since they were living, I'm okay now lifestyle, they thought their life will be okay until they retire. Nobody predict pandemic could happen. Even the people who has a great career, who developed a great career as a furniture designer during pandemic, nobody really purchased the furniture. So they could not really sell any of their furniture. They experienced their businesses going down. So that's the something risk for you, for you chasing after money. Job doesn't secure your future. You still need to make a lot of plan. Oh, sorry, it's not me who put a hand up. Zoom doing strange things these days. Okay, so even before, to me, owning a business comes with a risk, but everything changing right now. For me, understanding Atomy, doing it at Atomy, now I know that if I was really hold my job as a banker, my job was on the list. Maybe I'd be laid off already, because many of the bank here has been closed down. Just give me 1 second. Oh, one slide is missing. That's why. Okay, because I had lots of pictures, screenshots with the store closing news, and in Korea, 10,000 branches are bank branches are closing it down. Why? Because it could be replaced by AI and they don't need it anymore, and more people doing banking online. So if I still hold on to my job as an active income, yes, my job is on the risk. But why do we need to chase after passive income? Why do we need to create income while we're sleeping? Oh, when I found this one, it was amazing illustration for Atomy. While I was sleeping comfortably, laptop is up. Our business is based on online. So even while we're sleeping, okay, so I'm in different time zone than in the Philippines or Korea. So even while I'm sleeping, consumers, different side of the world, they are making their purchases. Different side of the world, they are doing their businesses. So even while I'm sleeping, businesses are running. Why people wanted to have passive income? Why do you think that? Why do you think people wanted to have a passive income? Why people saving a lot of money? You have to think about it too. Why people working right now, and people instead of spending in cars and this and that, you will notice lots of people spending and saving for them to have this amount of income in their bank account. Why? People want a freedom. As I mentioned, for you working for someone, for you chasing after money, there is still risk involved. But you're exchanging your freedom to the monthly salary. Not much of freedom. But why we're going crazy with passive income? Why people going crazy with Atomy opportunity? Because all the hard work we put and all the business that we are building right now, we will be able to get that freedom. Isn't that a lovely word? It is a lovely word. What freedom we could get with Atomy? Financial freedom and the freedom of time. So many people think that, you know what, I'm working, I get bi-weekly salary, and I'll be able to put the food on the table. But what they don't know, it's risk still hidden in that picture. But for you building your global online business, you'll be able to get the freedom, the financial freedom and the freedom of time. And this is another important thing that I want to empathize. So we know the scary future is ahead of us, and what could happen when pandemic happens and recession happens. But Atomy is recession proof and pandemic proof. That's a two important word too. Every recession, it involves with the business downturns. If you are working as a retail, yes, most of your sales job will be gone. And even if you have like I mentioned, even if you have a great job, your job is on the line. But Atomy is a recession proof because we are dealing with what kind of product? Daily necessary product. So Atomy is not an ordinary online business. Atomy is an online business where we are dealing with daily necessary product. That's a key. And that gives us a clear future that Atomy business will always grow And this business can sustain for not 100 years, 1,000 years in the future. And pandemic proof. How can we prove this one? If you go to Atomy Korea website, or in many of the leaders, some lectures, or even whenever you do the Korean ordering, you can also order one of this global magazine. This will tell you all the official information. Because when I want to share the vision of Atomy and tell them, you know what, pandemic, it's okay. Atomy business is okay. Some people, how can you prove? Some people want the actual numbers. Yes, you might just saying it because you've been doing it at Atomy, you want to promote Atomy, but some people want to see the actual numbers. So in this booklet, it mentioned how Atomy has been growing from the start of establishment and all the way till last year, and how much it has been grown during pandemic too. Yes, we don't want to think about it. Yes, I try not to mention that word anymore because so many unpleasant things happened during that time. But to us, it was another business opportunity, and it was another eye-opening to many of us how amazing this opportunity is, why we need to grab this opportunity. Even during pandemic, Atomy has grown more than 30%. How? Now people understand the importance of online shopping. And now people understand how affordable Atomy products are and how valuable they are. More and more people now understanding all the things that we've been mentioning before. They didn't get a chance to really digest all those information, but when situation happens, right? When dramatic situation happen, people trying to think in all the information, they got it before. You know how many years I've been telling people to take MOM, and how many people's I've been sorry for this one. Oh yes, this is English. There's an English and Korean version. We call it Global Magazine. So there is a monthly magazine. It's all in Korean, but Global Magazine, there is an English and Korean version. So you get to read all the English version. So for Atomy growing 34% during pandemic, it was eye-opening to the many people. And it really secure us how stable Atomy business is. Yes, we love Atomy product. We want to make that $100,000 monthly income. We're dreaming to have the financial freedom of time. We're dreaming everything to enjoy with the passive income from Atomy. But if it has not been proved by recession or a pandemic, something we have to think twice. But why I'm empathizing this one to the many people that I meet, all the effort you're putting it in, all the years you've been working on it at Atomy, you will for sure will get the results, because this company proven to not only to Koreans, many business people around the globe, how secure this, how stable this business is. This will see 100%. Future belongs to the people who owns platform business. Actually, this is very important word. I was looking for, because there was one slide, I think that really explains how amazing Atomy business is in the future. So when he was talking about it, another crown master also explained similar topic, and she had this pyramid shape. She had the pyramid shape. 1 versus 99. 1% versus 99%. Who belongs to 1%? What she was talking about, the people on the top, 1% will rule the world in the future. Before, when we're talking about, it's depend on the people working, making passive income, active income. No, it will be divided into people who owns a platform business and who doesn't own the platform business. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to find the slide before this seminar, but as soon as I find that slide, I will forward it to AeriJeong, and AeriJeong can share to the group meetings. So that pyramid, 1%, not even 10%, 1% versus 99%. Question, do you want to belong to the 1% or do you want to belong to the 99%? Definitely 1%. If you want to belong in that 1% category, you need to own the platform business. Future belongs to people who owns a platform business, that graph explains clearly. Okay. When even anybody know, I mean, I'm sure you all know the Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. If you don't know the Robert Kiyosaki yet, just type it. You will see a lot of lectures by him, and it can also help you to boost your motivations to focus on Atomy business. He mentions when he was talking about the cash flow quadrant, there is a employee, there's a self-employed, and there's a business people, and there's investors. Self-employed or employed, they own they are just overbroke because they own a job. Even self-employed, they own a job. But the business owners and investors, actually, they only consist of 5% of the population, and 95% of the population belongs employed and self-employed. But what he said, 95% of the world wealth are enjoyed by that 5%. And the 5% wealth created by the employees and self-employed, 95% people belong in the category enjoying that 5% wealth created in the world. So imagine, that's why being employed and self-employed is very competitive, isn't it? There's so many competition. You need to compete with your co-workers at work because we only get to enjoy the 5%. But now that number, the 95 to 5% has been changed to 1% versus 99%. And it's not about business owner and investors. People who owns a platform business and who doesn't own a platform business. That's why many young people these days, what are they doing? If you ask them, if you have a young children, ask them, what do you want to be in the future? Surprisingly, when my generation, when we are asked, what do you want to be in the future? Oh, we want to be the teacher. We want to be a doctor. We want to do this. But nowadays, they want to be a YouTuber. Owning a YouTube, it's also owning a platform business. How they think, how the world is happening, it's very different from when we were growing up. So always remember, for us owning this Atomy platform business, we are belonging in that 1% category of the people who will be enjoying at 99% of the wealth creating in the world. What do we have? What opportunity do we have? As long as you have a cell phone in your hand, you have your business. That's this great opportunity that you have. You own this platform business everywhere you go. Remember, I just went over all different number of products that we went. Who doesn't use those products? Okay, I live in USA, so I don't use those products. I live in Africa, I don't use those products. Surprisingly, people in Nigeria is not yet open, but people in Nigeria, they are dying to buy Hemohim. Even the countries where Atomy is not yet open, they're dying to use Atomy products. So when you think about this global online opportunity, you don't have to worry about chasing after money. You don't have to worry about, how I'm going to save the $2.5 million until I retire. You don't have to worry about it because all the work we are doing right now to build your consumer group, to build the leaders in your group, I didn't include it. If you've been listening tentatively to the compensation plan, think about how much income you could get. How much is general commission? So my dollar value is just based on Canadian currency. Everybody start from $70, and we're working all the way to $1,500 a day, $1,500 day income. There's no limitation. You can get up. You can get up to that general commission, and plus, with the mastership bonus, how much Imperial Master they say they're getting these days? $100,000. Imagine how your life can be changed when you making that $100,000. Yes, it's too far away. And when I mention $100,000, oh, that's a scam. So I don't want to scare people, and I don't want to be a scammer to other people. So I reduced to $50,000 Okay, it's $100,000 too much value for you. Then okay, let's talk about $50,000. If you can make $50,000, probably you don't have to worry about all the things that you were worrying about before. How are you gonna send your children to the university? Right? How are you going to look after your parents? How are you going to look after your own retirement? And how you are fulfilling all the things that you have written down on your life scenario. And Atomy, so far, Atomy, yes, Atomy just opened in EU. So it opens another 31 countries, but it's not the end of the story for Atomy. Atomy willing to expand. So Europe, we don't put plus 31. We just put it as 1. Atomy willing to open 60 plus countries. So which means, like I mentioned, as long as you have this online platform in your hand all the time, you'll be able to expand your business. You'll be able to achieve that minimum $50,000 monthly system income from Atomy. And that income, you don't have to be worried during pandemic, or you don't even have to worry during recession, because we are dealing with the product that people need to use it daily basis anyways. This is I think like an economic term that CEO Hangye Park talked about. During recession time in Korea, many people thought that cosmetic industry will go down. Anybody heard this story? During recession time, many people think that cosmetic industry will go down. But actually, when you look at the number of the cosmetic industry during recession, they're doing better than before. You want to know why? Because before, now both the husband and wife are both working, but during recession, usually gentlemen, like husband, they lost their job, they got laid off. So the wife, they end up need to go out in the workforce to put the bread on the table. So for the ladies, in order for us to go out, we need to make a good presentation. So we need to put more makeup. We need to, treat ourselves. So they're buying more lipsticks. I think a lipstick effect. I forgot the keyword. So we need to buy good skincare to improve ourselves. So recession, people think, recession, people's not going to buy. That's a wrong way of thinking. Recession, still people are buying more cosmetics, more skincares to improve themselves and put themselves out there to look presentable. And another pandemic, we don't really care, because we don't. I wouldn't say care. We wouldn't really worry, because in terms of health-wise, we know we have a great number of health supplements. So health-wise, we don't need to worry. Even financially, we know more people will understand how convenient it is for them to shop at Atomy online shopping mall. The one slide that I didn't include here, where I have a lot of store closing, it's a retail store closing. Why are they closing? Because this is one of the lecture from the Crown Master too. During pandemic, they did some research and number came out, offline sales drop tremendously, really skyrocket drop. But for online shopping, it was kind of steady, but during pandemic, what happened? It increased a lot. So that trend. So for us making consumer shopping online, it's not an easy transition from offline to online, but once they enjoy online shopping, anybody wants to go back offline? I don't want to. I enjoy online shopping. During Christmas time, I don't have to, look for the parking lot and wait up in a long line to buy a present. Everything conveniently purchased through online. So once people understand and enjoy of online shopping, nobody will go back to offline. That's what's happening. That's why 1,000 clothes, Bath and Body Works. Oh, no, not a Bath and Body Works. Something related to that store. 1,000 stores will be closing, and then all the other stores where they supply all the products to the store, we will closing it too. But the thing is, are they going to close their online shop? No, they're not going to close the online shop. So for you finding this global online opportunity, never let it go. Yes, every business, there is always up and downs. It's not going to be a smooth road, but imagine that you could earn the financial freedom and the freedom of time with this great opportunity. You don't have to worry about all the things happening around those. AI, it's okay. If your job is next on the line to be disappeared, it's okay. You already found the Atomy opportunity. While you're working full time, you could still invest certain number of hours for you to build Atomy online business. Always remember, you're not just the online shopping owner, you are the platform business owners. Think about all the platform business, YouTube, Google, there's a Facebook marketplace, Alibaba. You are owner of that platform business. When other people trying to come up with the platform business on their own, we have it already. That's how valuable, that's how precious it is. So whenever you think about that, even if you face a hard time doing Atomy business, it will give you a motivation. It will make you jump out of bed for you owning that online platform business. The future belongs to us. Why? Because we are the platform owner business. We are belonging that 1% of the world population. So really, answer is answer is yours. Should I really focus on, or should I just do what I can do? Push yourself a little harder to make this business to another level. Then you can expect another level of your life with Atomy. Okay, I don't want to scare you anymore with what's going to happen in the future, but I just want to know, once we have Atomy with us, many of the worries you have will disappear. That's one thing that I want to share. I don't really worry about how I'm going to send my children to university, where all the other friends are worrying about how I'm going to retire in the future. Oh, how I'm going to save the $2,000, $1,000 for me to retire comfortably. I don't worry about that anymore. System income from Atomy is the answer. System income from Atomy will help us to not only enjoy our lives, help many other people to enjoy the life they're expecting to. Okay, so are we all in this? Yes? Willing to go crazy with Atomy?